Let's do it now.
Can we start now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, Asia. I am Mike Lu in Manila with Victor Yu in Taipei. It's Friday. We welcome you to another Asian Bird Fair online session. Tonight, we bring you outside of Asia to a country where approximately 20% of all bird species in the world can be seen. It's 9 here in the Philippines, but 8 in the morning over in Colombia, where our good friend Cristian Daza of Manakin Nature Tours is waiting for us to introduce us to the birds and the diverse ecosystems in his country. Christian has been birding for over 20 years and has been guiding professionally since 2013. Buenos días, parcero. ¿Cómo estás, Christian?
Hola, buenos días, Mike.
Okay. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the owner of Manakin Nature Tours, Don Luis Urenia, and tour guide Alejandro Pinto. Thank you for joining us. So Christian,
Hey,
we are all ready.
thank you.
Yeah. Christian, we're all ready. Please take us
Okay. Here we go. Here we go again.
to go.
Almost. I love this place.
Hello, my name is Cristian Daza. I'm 29 years old, Colombian, naturalist, and bird watcher. I have a son, a 6 years old son, whose name is Emmanuel. He's the engine of my life, and we love go together for birding and photography in the field. So I started as a bird watcher when I was 10 years old, when I was member of the bird watchers club from my primary school. So then I started as a local birding guide at the Valley National Park from the Central Andes in Colombia. And at the later 2015, I started as a national birding guide for one of the most important Colombian companies, which is Manakin Nature Tours. We want to share with you a little bit about the biodiversity from Colombia, birds, ecosystems, and wildlife in general. Colombia is a Manakin Nature Tours.
Uh, Demute yourself. Okay.
No sound.
Demute. we have a technical problem.
Experience of
Okay, right.
and Manakin Nature Tours was found 11 years ago by a couple of Colombian biologists, Andrea Borras and Luis Urueña. So Manakin is a Colombian birding and wildlife company with vast knowledge of Colombia and Latin America as well, as being 100% committed to the safety and the satisfaction of our participants. Our main objective is to offer the best quality service and ensure that the experience of viewing birds and nature is um, important in the most biodiverse region in the world is enjoyable, memorable, and successful. Mannequins have a large variety of established itineraries, but we always endeavor to personalize our trips according to the needs and reach of each participant. We offer the best options for transportation, accommodation, and cuisine than can be found in each of the countries in which we operate. We work with professional Latin American guides, all of them grown in Latin America. We're young, friendly, fun, and extremely passionate about birds and nature. Our guides know every area that we visit perfectly and have excellent connections with the local people, which is very important. So when when the people travel with us, as well as being treated as our most important participants, each one of them. So we hope that you become a good friend or mannequin in the future. Our aim is to offer best service, adventure, and bird watching and photography opportunities for those people who love nature, especially birds. For years, we have explored different places in Latin America, including the most remote and accessible out, constantly searching for new, better location in which to carry out our activities. We continue to motivate more and more people towards the creation and growth of new research, supporting local bird watchers and involving the community in such a way that the services offered to our participants are constantly improving. We have selected a team of biologists and guides with experience in birds and wildlife who work 24 hours, 7 days a week, traveling around the country and who have, over the course of years, developed the skills, the abilities necessary to offer an incredible experience whilst demonstrating their professionalism and charisma in the field. As Colombian company, we have the ability to offer the itinerary and logistics that match your needs. So we adapt to the requirements of each group with the ability and flexibility to be able to offer personalized service, meaning that a tour in hand or mannequin nature tours goes Colombia is a tropical south.
Okay, so now we're going to have a small introduction of Colombia, about climate, uh, about the natural regions from Colombia. So let's enjoy this.
American country with an extension of 1,141,000 kilometers squared and a population of about 50 million. is located at the northwestern end of the South American plate that stretches from the north at the Caribbean Sea to the south at the Amazon River and from the east at the Orinoco River to the west at the Pacific Ocean. So Colombia is divided into six regions, which are characterized by their climatic conditions, vegetation, relief, and culture. So we may start with the Caribbean region, which is the northernmost part of the country, and it borders the Caribbean Sea, for which it is named. It is mainly flat region as it is composed mostly of the continental plain of the Caribbean, which extends from the north of the Andes to the San Martin Mountains, which are the highest altitude in the country, about 5,700 meters above the sea level. So then give way to the Guajira Peninsula, one of the driest area in Colombia, at the northeastern end. So from the west to the east, it borders the Golfo de Urabá in the Pacific region to the Perijá Mountain area that goes to the Andes. So the Caribbean region, ciénagas, swamps predominate in the Sierra Grande and Sparta, the biggest area. So mangroves and tropical humid forest towards the Golfo de Urabá, tropical dry forest in the Guajira, and the ecosystems that comes from the highest altitude, glaciers, paramo, cloud forest, and coast in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, and tropical humid forest in the Tayrona National Park are some of the most representative ecosystems of the Colombian Caribbean. So the climate for the northern Colombia is strongly affected by the southward shifting of the northern trade wind belt during the temperate winter. From mid-December to mid-April, dry northeastern trade winds buffet the Caribbean lowlands and produce a severe dry season. The rainfalls principally from mid-May to October, peaking in May, June, and September, October. And the average annual temperature at the sea level is 28 to 30 Celsius degrees, with less than 2 degrees of difference between the warmest and the coolest months. The climate is a bit different at the Santa Marta Mountains over the north and west facing slope and in a narrow humid zone extended down to the sea level at the northeastern base of the San Marta Mountains. For much of the year, the slopes are bathed by moisture-laden trade winds that precipitate over cool forests and help buffer the zone from the desiccating conditions of the surrounding lowlands. So in this zone, in a narrow band just below 2,000 meters elevation, the rainfall may reach the 4,000 millimeters per year. So now we go to the west, and we're going to talk about the Pacific region, which is located in the westernmost strip of the country and comprises almost the entire region of the biogeographical Chocó, in addition to the coastal area of Valle del Cauca, and Nariño. It limits to the north with Panama, to the east with the Western Mountain Range, to the south with Ecuador, and to the west with the Pacific Ocean, why it receives its name. It's a biodiversity hotspot dominated by the tropical wet forest ecosystem. The Serranía, well, this region has two, well, a couple of hills in the northern part, which are the Darien and the Baudó Serranías. So in this region, the rivers San Juan, Baudó, Mira, Patia, and Atrato constitute the great water wealth and are one of the most important means of communication in this region. The Pacific coast climatic conditions are very different than the rest of the country. So the dry trade wind dominated by dominate the climate of the Golfo de Urabá in the northern Chocó, um, and it rapidly glips way southward to a hot, humid, and very rainy climate. So the rainfall here is the heaviest and the most non-seasonal in the Americas. So varying from about 3,000 millimeters at the northern and the southern extremes more than 10,000 millimeters per year. So rainfalls mainly in the late afternoon or at night, and the mornings are usually clear with brilliant sunlight over steamy. So it means in this region we may go for birding during the day without troubles. So the heaviest rainfall occurs in a narrow belt of the foothills between 50 and 250 meters of elevation. So the rainfall diminishes gradually at higher elevation, but um, it is augmented by the condensation from the cloud. So month to month, the variation in total rainfall is small, but um, May to June and October, November are usually the rainer periods. So now we're moving to the east, and we're going to talk about the Andean region, the Andes. So this region is located in the center of the country, limiting the Caribbean region to the north, Venezuela to the northeast, the Orinoquia to the east, the Amazon to the southeast, Ecuador to the south, and the Pacific region to the west. So the region is the most populous and economically most active area in the country. So this region owes its name to the Andes mountain range. So which to the north of South America are divided into the Pasto Node and the Colombian Massif into three mountain ranges, um, which are the western, central, and the eastern one. So the central mountain range is separated from the western one by an average distance of 400 meters due to a geological fault occupied by the Patia River to the south and the Cauca River to the north. The eastern range gradually separates to the east, creating the most important river basin in Colombia. We're talking about the Magdalena Valley. So the eastern range extends to the northwest and reaches its highest altitude at about 5,000 meters over the sea level and forming the Sierra Nevada del Cocuy. Then, up in the north, so the Perijá Mountain emerges to the north and gradually moves in height and reaches the Caribbean Sea at Punta Gallinas. On the Guajira Peninsula, so in the extreme north of Colombia. So in the Perijá, which is the city limit with Venezuela, it approaches the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta and then forming the Upar Valley followed by the Cesar River. So the three mountain ranges have peaks mainly of volcanic formations of more than 400 meters over the sea level, and the central and the eastern have peaks of more than 5,000 meters of elevation. We're talking about the snow peaks, uh, Tolima, Santa Isabel, Greece, and the Huila ones. So to the northwest of the Western Cordillera appears the mountainous system called the Serranía del Baudó, the one we were talking about before, which continues to the Darien, turning west towards Panama. So in the Andes, there are two wet and two dry seasons each year. The rainy periods are mid-March to mid-June and October to mid-December. So the longer and true dry season in Colombia, in the Colombian Andes, it's from June through September. So the rainfall uh, could varies from 1,500 to 4,000 millimeters uh, due to the complex topography of the Andean region. So many valleys lie in rain shadows that, of course, when the surrounding higher ridges block the incoming and moisture-filled clouds. So consequently, the rain precipitates on the high slope, but rarely on the hot, dry valleys floors below. The mountain breezes that descend into Rain Shadows Valley are warmed and cause even more drying. Some of these dry interior valleys are covered by thorn scrub and cactus. So we're talking about um, dry forest ecosystems. So, the most important rain shadow valleys are the middle and the upper part of the Magdalena and the Cauca. So the Cauca Valley floor is slightly higher and narrower and is also the drier, receiving about 1,500 millimeters yearly, so over its floor, and 2,000 millimeters on its slopes. So the Magdalena Valley is about 1,700 millimeters on the valley floor and about 3,000 millimeters on its slopes. So its upper rain and in Huila gets less than 1,200 millimeters and drier than the Cauca Valley. So in the upper part of the Magdalena, we may find tropical humid forest as well. So on the Pacific slope of the small, arid, and upper ends of the Cordillera, so we find cloud forest. So then now we go to the Amazon region. So which is one of the most famous regions in South America. So in Colombia, it is located into the south of the country. It limits to the north with the Andean and with the Andes and the Orinoquia region. So to the east with Venezuela and the southeast with Brazil. To the south with Peru, where the Amazon River is, and to the southwest with Ecuador. So it comprises about the 40% of the Colombian territory and is the least popular and the area in the country. So in this region, we may find just indigenous population. So at the same time, is part of the Great South American Amazon region, or rainforest Amazon. So the largest forest area in the world that is shared by Venezuela, Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, the Guianas, Suriname, and Bolivia. So the Amazon region of Colombia is the most forested with an area bigger than 400,000 kilometers squared. So the region is framed by the Andes mountain range to the west and extends east to the border with Brazil, Peru, Ecuador, and Venezuela. So from north to south, it stretches from the Guaviare and Bichada rivers and to Putumayo and the Amazon. So the main rivers from the west, north, the Orinoco region, which is also known as the Llanos Orientales in Colombia, and it is one of the, the ecosystem that we share with Venezuela. Is limiting with Venezuela, the Amazonian to the south, and the Andean region to the west. So this region is determined by the Orinoco River Basin. So it is an ecosystem characterized by being a plain, so the tropical savanna. So the region is located between the Arauca, Guaviare, Orinoco, and the foothills rivers. So the Orinoquia coincides very much with two clearly differentiated regions and is often confused with them. So the first is an hydrographic basin that of the Orinoco River. This extends from the Andes to the Amazon rainforest. So and includes the basin of the Meta, Guaviare, and Guinea rivers. So and the second, Los Llanos, is a Colombian Venezuela natural and cultural region. So that I was talking before, and this is the Orinoco region is extensive interneotropical savannas and gallery forests. Its inhabits the Llaneros have a differentiated culture and an history. So, in terms of culture, the Llanos is very rich. The vast grasslands east of the Andes comprise the Llanos. The climate is monsoonal with a severe dry season from the late November to March and a single long wet season from April to mid November. South of the Rio Guaviare, which roughly forms the southern boundary of the Llanos, the climate is dominated by a large, more or less stationary equatorial air mass, resulting in almost daily afternoon rains. So it means a little bit as in the Choco, we have chances for burning during the morning. So
okay, so now um, tours, we're gonna share one of our itineraries, which is the Choco and Andes itinerary. So this one is focused on the endemic and near endemic species from this region. And well, in this part of the itinerary, we visit first the Eastern Cordillera, which is basically the area where Bogota is, the capital of the country. And we stay around this Cordillera for a couple of days, visiting the paramos, hummingbird feeders, mm, the dry forest from the northern part of the Eastern Cordillera. And then we fly to the Central Cordillera and we visit the Otunquimbaja National Park, the Central Andes. And from here, we go a bit higher up in the in a place called Cortaderal, which is in the old road to the Nevados National Park. And then from here, we drive across the Cauca Valley and we get into the Tatamá National Park in the Western Cordillera. And we stay a couple of nights in Montezuma Rainforest Lodge. And here, there's a lot of endemic and near-endemic species to see, and there's also very good chances for photography. And then we drive back to the Central Cordillera, arriving in Manizales, and here we visit a very famous place to see Antpitas, which is Rio Blanco. We enjoy some of the best places for Antpitas in Colombia, and then we go a bit higher at the Nevados National Park, looking for the Buffy, helmet crest, and some other species. Then we cross the Cauca Valley again, and we arrive to the beautiful town of Jardín. And here we visit the road of Ventanas, looking for the yellow-eared parrot, chestnut-crested cotinga, and among the rest of the species from this Andean ecosystem. And then from Jardín, we drive down to the Cauca Valley again, looking for the endemic species in this ecosystem, as the Antioquia wren, gray spikelет, epical flycatcher. And then we move to Medellin. And then here we visit La Romera. It's a municipality park where we have chances to see Colombian chachalaca, red-bellied grackle, styled tapaculo, and yellow-headed manakin. And then from here, we fly back to Bogota and then back to home. So, well, there was pretty much a brief of an itinerary with Manakin and nature tours. So, well, thank you for joining this presentation, and we hope you have enjoyed.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Excellent presentation. Okay, now,
Thank you, Victor.
ladies and gentlemen, is there any question? If you have any question, just DM yourself, then tell us about it. Okay. So I guess people would interesting to know that is it safe to travel in Colombia? Christian?
Yes, Victor.
Yeah, I guess people will want to know, is it safe to travel in Colombia?
Yeah, it's still safe. Yeah.
Okay. And
Toby, pasame los datos del celular que te falta vender. Es bueno, ¿no?
Well,
¿Y a cuánto?
Hello, everybody.
Por
So
eso,
thank you to be
pasámelo así,
here.
pero no como que, no para comprar por Mercado Libre, porque se lo vendí a una de las
Horacio.
clientas de Buenos Días Berlin.
Horacio
Sí,
is buying a cellular phone without us.
porque le dije, porque me dijo que estás flaco, tenés que, sí, pero tenés que comer más.
Por favor.
Horacio,
Yeah, Horacio,
Claro.
we need translation.
No, sí, yo estoy engordo, no sé.
you need to mute, Victor.
¿Y qué te iba a decir? Nada, porque me dice que no puede participar de los cursos, de nada, porque el celular no tiene más capacidad.
You need to
Por
mute,
eso le
you need to
dije
mute Horacio, Victor.
Please
que
unmute
a mí me pasaba lo mismo y que entonces
talking to us.
Okay, thank you. So yeah,
Right. Well, I
I'm
thought he's
responding.
asking something now. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Any
Luis.
questions? Yes, Johnny, please.
What did Luis want to say?
Thank you, everyone, and thanks for a very good presentation, Angel. I saw a truck there, and I was wondering, I would want to know the transport you use for the tourists when they come over there. Thank you.
Okay, so the kind of transportation that we use, it depends of the area where we are, but to travel into the cities and from in long distances, we use Sprinter. For example, in gravel roads, we use four-wheel drive cars, very good ones, affordable. And well, it depends of the areas where we are. If it's a big group, we use the big bus, the vans, or if it's a tailor-made tour, we use small four-wheel drive cars as a Suzuki Vitara or Toyota Land Cruiser or Mitsubishi, this kind of four-wheel drives.
Gracias, hermano.
Gracias, Johnny.
And Carlos, please ask your question.
Yes.
Carlos, you still there with us? Carlos wants to know how many birds
Hello.
do you see in a? Okay, Carlos, yes. Please ask
Can you
your
hear
question.
me? Yes, just I've been in Colombia, and I have to say that it's a really great spot and really a wonderful place for bird watching, and not just bird watching, but the people. It's been really an amazing experience there. I just wonder, in a regular itinerary from Manakin tours, how many species of bird we can see, in a regular one, just one of the regular or one of the most simple itineraries. How many species of bird can we see? That's my question.
Hello, Carlos, and thank you for your question. So, in an itinerary of 15, 20 days, the average of species is 400, 500 species.
Wow! Oh my God! Yeah. Yeah, that's really awesome, right? In 15, 20 days, you can see 400 or to 500 species of birds. That's very rich. Because personally, I've been to Colombia once, and it's really a lovely country. People, they are very, very friendly. I've been to Manizales. My impression that people there are smiling, hugging each other all the time. It's just really a good country and very friendly. And good birds too. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Victor. Yeah, so the people from the coffee region in Colombia are very friendly. We're very friendly. We try to,
Excellent.
and every one of you are welcome to Colombia. So you're welcome back if you want to come one of these days.
Yes, definitely. I wish go back there again. Definitely.
Hi, Carlos. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hi, Andy.
Yes. How many bird species do you have in Panama? And how many of these are residents? And how many endemic do you have?
Oh
Colombia.
well, in,
Colombia.
Oh, sorry, Colombia, because
Yes.
I'm looking at the map Panama all the time.
yeah. So it's over 1,900 species, maybe 1,945. So residents are over 1,500. We have 125 boreal migrants and 15 austral migrants and 82 endemic species. So for all these species, I've seen about 1,400 species in Colombia.
Wow.
Okay.
How many endemics can we see in a trip? Let's say a 10 days tour.
Well, it depends of the region that you visit, but in this itinerary that I just um, present, it's about 35 endemic species because the Andes is a very complex region about the mountains, the inter-Andean valleys. So it has a lot of different conditions for the birds. In small areas, you have very different conditions for all the environment. So it makes very big um, differences between one cordillera to the other, and from one side of the Inter-Andean Valley to the other. So it's because it makes a big biodiversity of species, not just endemic, but also near endemic or species with very restricted distributions.
You have many species of birds in Colombia. How many are, for example, one species? How many you have? What about the quantity? You have many species, but the quantity for each species, are there a lot or just
Uh,
every?
the density of the species, but well, it depends of the species. So the most common ones, well, it's a difficult question. I don't know if my friend Alejandro Pinto has more information about this question.
Hi
Alejandro?
there. Hi, Andy. Thanks for the question. Well, just like Christian said, is quite hard to have like an answer for that question. But the thing is, some of the species are very well distributed all over the place. So that's why the population is quite big. But other species, this kind of endemic specific species for some areas, they have small populations. As you can imagine, because we have two branches of the Andes, as like Christian said, some of the species they are on a single spot in one of the Andes. The population is so small, and also like everywhere in the world, we have been losing forest coverage, or we have been losing the natural areas. So some of the populations are decreasing. Also, that not only happen with endemic or small ranch distribution species. I have been reading just yesterday a paper about black and chestnut hawk eagle, and they think that we only have about 100 of birds of that bird, and that bird is not an endemic. It's well distributed on the Andes. I mean, the ranch is huge, but even with a huge ranch, the population is too small. So you need like a make an assessment for each species if you want to know that. But we already know that some of the endemics they have a very small population uh, on the Andes or into the interandine valleys, etc., etc.
Thank you.
Well, Andy, I guess your question is that are the birds easy to see in Colombia?
You
Is
can
that what you
repeat
want to
it if you want.
ask? Right. There are two questions on Facebook. People want to know when is the best season to go birding there, and what's your national bird, Colombian national bird?
Okay, yeah. National bird was in the introduction. Is the Indian condor. Is national bird. Is a huge bird, well distributed on the Andes. And best season, as also this Christian was talking about that we have different rain distribution according with the area. So on the Andes we have two rainy peaks, one in between May, April, and the other one in October. So we usually skip those months to do trips on the Andes. Okay, but best season for an Indian trip, and I would say for all over the place, is in between late or mid November to March. Then after March or April, we start rains on the Andes, but also in the Orinoco region and the Amazon region. That's why we usually skip those months. But then June, July, August, and September is again is good months to come here. The only thing about those months, we don't have the North American migrants. The so we have less numbers in talking about birds.
Great. Hunting condor. I wish I could see it. Okay, and more question?
We have a place, is Luis. So we have a place that is amazing for photographers, especially that the name is the Condor Rock that stay in Cauca, in the Cauca state in the Paramo of Puracé. And it's an amazing place because they are feeding condors. So sometimes come 3 or 4 individuals to eat the meat in this composition or something like this. And it's incredible to take picture. I come there with a group of Taiwan 1 year ago, and they take amazing picture of this species. And you can see the condors approximately to 3 or 4 meters to your camera. So it's unbelievable. So people sometimes need to move back to take picture of the condors, and and it's really amazing. And also in this route exists so many feeders, especially for hummers and especially for tanagers, where photographers can go to take picture of some very nice species that for me are probably some of the best, like a multicolor tanager. That is a tangara, is a little tanager that have 8 colors in the body. Is basically is a rainbow bird, and will be possible to take picture in feeders like this.
Great. Thank you, Luis. Okay. And what's your email address if people want to contact you? You show us your email address or tell us
Yeah,
here.
sure. I can give you the email address to the company. So if any moment you have any question about the country or for tours or the guides or anything, so you will be welcome to write. So it will be a pleasure to respond anything.
Yes, and please leave it on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah, so in the chat of this meeting, you may find all the links for the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and emails if you want more information about Manakin.
All right. Thank you very much.
How's the situation in Colombia right now,
Hmm. Say it again, Mike.
Luis? Luis, how's the situation in Colombia right now with regard
About the COVID, about the security, about what?
Yeah, about what? The COVID-19?
travel
Okay,
restrictions?
so okay, situation in Colombia is that you know that Colombia was experimented a very great time for the tourism in the last 10 years. We are having a lot of people come to Colombia. Was the expectative country because it's one of the most biodiversity country, but was completely closed for many years for the violence problems. But 15 years ago, when the violence start to finish, are coming on more people, and now is a very popular country for birding and for wildlife adventures and for photography and anything, you know. So we had a wonderful time before to COVID. And this moment with the COVID, the situation of the country is not really bad. It's it's controlled, but obviously we have a lot of people sick in this moment with this horrible disease. But the government established a very strict protocols of security for the people. The tourism is not open yet, but the last news that I heard yesterday, precisely, was that the international flights will be open again the 1st of September. So to be honest, we are not waiting nothing for this year because our big market that is basically United States cannot travel in this moment to Colombia, so we need to wait. And we are waiting that the people come from January of the next year. So actually, we have basically all the high season that is basically January, February, March, April completely full for the next year, and for 2022 also, including one Taiwan group that's coming also for to do a tour of wildlife photography in Janus area and Amazon area. So we are waiting, or we are very positive, to be honest. We think that we will have a nice bonanza when everything finish because people definitely want to come to Colombia. We have a lot of new things to show, and complemented a little the question that somebody was doing some minutes ago is that we have a big biodiversity, but the country is so unexplored in many areas that we have the chance to find new species every day. So recently, Andres Cuervo, there is a college, there is a biologist of the National University, make or do a new article, scientific article, in where they split the species of Rufus and Pita in 4 new species for the science. So now we have 4 new species for the science in Colombia. That it is so great. And this is one very important thing because every day basically we are finding and making exploration in new areas in where we can find new records, we can find new species. We have a lot of areas that for the violence problem we can enter before, and now we can enter. So this is one of the things that are making Colombia so special, that we have many things, many new things to do. So in the moment, I think so that the COVID pandemic finished, so we will come back to the bonanza that we are having the last 10 years, and you are more than welcome to visit us.
Okay. I was in Colombia 2 years ago with your tour, and I was amazed because there's so many birds, so easy roadside birding, so many birds. On your personally, what's your favorite location in Colombia?
For me, or for Cristian, or for Alejandro? For me, I love Amazon. I really love Amazon. It's just, I am guiding birding tours like 12 years ago, and I do many times Andes and Magdalena Valley and the Atlantic Coast and the Chaco region, and it's amazing. I don't say that no, definitely, it's amazing. But I am more like a jungle guy, so I like more the Amazon region. In Amazon, it's like you can find something different every day. You can find a jaguar, or you can find an otter, or you can find some rare monkey, or anything, something different. Sometimes it's possible to see new records. And Amazon have a particularity is that have some very special birds that are so really difficult to see. You can stay one day, complete day, trying to see the bird, and you can see it. And the next day, before to go to the airport, the bird appears in a tree close to the airport or something like this. It's like a Amazon give all the time amazing surprises. So this is the thing that I like too much. For example, the parrots are unbelievable, or things like acotingas are unbelievable also. Some species of ambers. Ambers is my family, my favorite family, and the ambers always is a challenge to see. And to take a picture of amber is like a wow! I take a picture of amber, so it's my favorite region. But also Andes is so nice because the opportunity to take good pictures in feeders or in forests that are easy to see birds is easy for birding is really great. So I like if in Amazon I take I don't know 200 pictures or 200 species in pictures in Andes, I can take picture of 400 species or something like this. So basically it depends of the challenge that you can put per yourself, you know, so it's different. But in general, in all Colombia, it's nice. It's very nice to see. But for me, Amazon. I don't know, Christian, what do you say? So what is your favorite region?
One of my favorite regions in Colombia is the Choco. So especially it's an old road from the Western Andes to the Pacific coast, which is called the Anchicaya Road. It's an amazing place, and well, all these places from the Pacific, Nuquí, um, Bahia Solano. This is a beautiful area because it's not just about birds, it's also the culture, the people, the gastronomy. The ladies from the Pacific, these ladies uh, cook delicious. It's a delicious food. You may eat the same kind of fish for 1 week and you don't realize it. So it's an amazing area, and the landscape is so beautiful. And well, definitely this is my favorite area, the western slope of the Western Cordillera and the Pacific region in the Choco. Alejo, what's yours?
Well, I have a very special like relation with the Orinoco River savannas because I have worked there a lot of times since I was a biologist. And so it's a special area for me. I really like it, and also it's about the whole experience in that area. It's not only about birds, also about the mammals and wildlife in general. And I really enjoy the south of the country, the southernmost extreme of the country on the Andes, we call it the Colombian Massif, and the Western Cordillera. Those are my top three. I cannot like, pick up just one.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, it's amazing. It's really amazing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time. So, last question. We take one last question. Is there any? If
Or
not, then we're going to take a group photo before we leave. Okay, so those people behind the screen, please show your face and
who's
look at the camera and smile
Arthur?
and do not move. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everybody. Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you so much,
Mike.
and I hope to
Please.
see you in Colombia
Thank
someday.
you, everybody. And see you next Friday.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Have a nice weekend.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
And for
Bye
you,
bye.
bye.